Directed to the Prime Minister. My first question, Mr. Deputy Speaker, is that in the absence of a national population census, which he deferred, can the Prime Minister tell this House what the official population is for Papua New Guinea? Secondly, Mr. Deputy Speaker, of that population, what is the number of eligible voters in the country? Thirdly, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and this is absolutely crucial for the national elections coming up, because how is he going to stop explosion in the number of eligible voters around the country now that the common roll updating is way behind and we are allowing politicians or councillors to do the counting for us? What reliable numbers will he hold the common roll figures against to determine if they are accurate? Mr. Speaker, there is reasonable fear that we are headed for troubled times ahead, because there is a failure in the basic legal requirement to hold the national census. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and let me thank the Deputy Opposition Leader, Member for Rabaul, for asking this important question, which is fundamental to the way we plan, and not just planning for everyday government programs, but more importantly, as we stand in the face of 2022 national general election, is linked to the fact that there is no up-to-date population data to indicate to the integrity of the 2022 common roll update that the Electoral Commission will facilitate. Mr. Deputy Speaker, he is correct to point that what was required by law for us to conduct our census in 2020 was not held. A couple of reasons why 2020 census was not possible. He would be very familiar with the both COVID-19 as well as the March of 2020 that was taken in the politics and the power play in politics. Sometimes this sort of thing derails the big picture, big program, government programs that we would be engaged upon. But having said this, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I had given assurance that we will try to do a head count, enumeration of all our people on a basic head count to be used or to be engaged from a councillor's perspective. That should go back to back with the common roll update that should be taking place now as we speak. The Electoral Commissioner has given us an indication that common roll update will be going on. We will take the briefing from the Electoral Commissioner this Thursday to update all members of Parliament and the public on where he is in respect to the common roll update. But let me also, our citizen, common roll update is important. Knowing the population we have is very important. Whilst the latest population update may not have taken place, Mr. Deputy Speaker, through you, let me point one important fact. Population growth rate of our country is known. Projected growth rate on average, our growth rate is taking place at minimum at 3%, or 3.1, 3.2, 3.3% on average. So when you peg against that population growth rates, knowing that the base data in 2011 can be a reference point on the last enumeration that was done on our country's population, as per what is required to be a fully fledged national census. So if you peg against this one, there should not be abnormal explosion in population in all our electorates right throughout our country, unless there was a drastic evidence-based shift from one area to another area. If you project against population growth rate, carefully conducted, for instance, common roll, can be measured against the retrospective data we have. For instance, the common roll of 2017 elections, the common roll of 2012 elections, as well as the population data established in 2011, can be extrapolated to point to what should be a forecasted population in that ward, in that LLG, in that district, or in that province, or for our country for that matter going forward. Just to give him through this question, the latest population per se up to date to the actuals, I am not privy to this because I may be indicating something that is outside of the actual reality. On average, we've been saying our population is 8 million or thereabouts, but the actual number I do not have. I will be lying to this parliament if I say I have actuals of our population growth or population statistics as we are standing today in 2022. But linking to his question on how the Electoral Commission or how the government can assure our country on the integrity of our total population in the face of 2022 elections, let me inform our country, including all members of parliament, that when the common roll update is taking place, every citizen has a right to know what is taking place in their electorate. There should be no extraordinary blowout in one polling place, one village, one LLG, or one district, for that matter, pegged against what was population in 2017, what was population in 2012, and what was the national population as per national census in 2011, and based on the growth rate of an average of 3%, 3.1, 3.2, the Electoral Commission will be guided to know this is the range of population growth he should be dealing with in as far as the update to population common roll is concerned. Let me also everyone in this parliament very, very conscious of the need to have good data and good roll update to ensure the integrity of the election process has a high standard. And this is something that we will be taking off. I encourage all leaders here to assist the process and to use 2017 and 2012 as benchmark rolls to eliminate those who have died or bring into the common roll those who have now moved from child age or below 18 to above 18 in respect to the rights to be voting. So we're conscious of the need to have a high integrity population database for us to facilitate 2022 elections. I give great assurance to our country. I will personally have oversight in this process so that we do not have, in some places, extraordinary inputs, but what is consistent based on population growth to be covered right across our country. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.